Welcome to the Fret Friends Podcast, a guitar and music podcast here to instruct, inform, and showcase. Fret Friends is a podcast from AP Guitar, a music tuition business established in 2012, which provide lessons, workshops, and courses to students all over the world. So here's your host, Adam Picard.
Oh, do you know what? We're on season 2, episode 10. This is the season finale, and I have really enjoyed this season. I don't know why I sounded so surprising. I really have. I don't need to tell you, I'm sure it comes across, but we are listened to in 33 different countries now. Me and all the amazing people who have offered to come on the podcast. So thank you to everyone, and thank you to everyone who's listened. I'm sure there'll be a season 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. But for now, this will be the last one whilst we have a little break and just chill. Right, today I am joined by my student, Mike. Mike's been with me for about a year and a half, and he has just been absolutely incredible since day one. I'm not going to share all of his tricks and tips because that's what the interview is for, but he has joined in every workshop that I've offered since he began, so whether that's band skills or music theory ones, lots of them. He's joined in on everything. He's just jumped straight in, and it has paid off. So thank you so much to Mike for agreeing to do this and for giving me his time. But before we start, I would just very, very much like to tell you about something that I'm extremely excited to announce. And this is that every student of mine will have access to 3 30-minute online group sessions as of January. Every bloody week. Every week. What am I doing? Well, what I am doing is creating a community, and also going to get you guys pushed even further forward in terms of your playing. I was looking for something to offer for a while, and I sort of thought about WhatsApp groups and everything. I thought, ugh. So this is something a little bit more unique, and I'm well excited to get going. So January, this will get going. You can ask questions and get feedback. You can share what you've been working on, perform if you like. It'll be quite low pressured. Connect with other students. Of course, this is the whole community aspect. Or you can join the session and just listen in. Listen to others and get inspired from others. And if you are a student of mine, you are able to attend any of these or all of these each week, as long as you have come to your lesson that week and you've paid for your lesson that week. It will also be the 14th year of AP Guitar. So thank you as students and listeners. Thank you so much for being a part of this and your continued commitment and support. But for now, it is the season finale, season 2, episode 10, and I'm joined by Mike. So we're going to get stuck in and hear what he's got to say. Mike, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. How are you doing this fine Friday?
I'm good on this very wet, rainy Friday.
No, pretty miserable. For anyone who doesn't live in the UK, it is... Oh, I can't even see what it is now. It's probably not that cold, but it is miserable. It's 15 degrees, warm, but it's absolutely wet. Diabolical out there, and it's only going to get worse. But we are both in our comfy studio environment, so all is good. Mike, I ask everyone this, so I'd like to ask you it. How did you first get into playing guitar? Was there a particular song or a guitarist that made you want to pick it up? Can you give me a background? If you start from the beginning, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a long story, I guess, because,
that's
I'm
fine.
Not that young anymore. I mean, I've always liked music, or always been into music of all types, but particularly guitar music, even from like kind of a very young age. I think my parents had like a Shadows album, Greatest Hits or something like that. I remember listening to that. So, and then, listening to music on the radio, that kind of thing. And, as I got a bit older, buying tapes, CDs. But I never really thought like playing was something that I would be able to do. You know, I kind of thought you need to be some kind of a talented musical genius to do that. So never really kind of tried to play at that stage, but then I think sometime in the mid 2000s, I actually decided to have a go. Bought like a cheap acoustic guitar, perfectly decent. So guitar wasn't the problem, but yeah, I think I naively thought I would be able to kind of figure it out myself, maybe with some books or whatever. And I got some basic chords or whatever, but I didn't really get anywhere with it.
Hang on. Let me just rudely butt in.
Sure, yeah.
Mid 2000s, did we have that thing called YouTube then? No.
Probably. I don't know if there was much guitar tuition on there. If there was, I didn't think to look for it. So yeah,
I don't think so. Yeah. So again, it's just books, isn't it? It's books. And yeah, if you're doing it on your own without a teacher, I mean, it's just books.
Yeah. I mean, really, I should have got a teacher at that time if I was serious about it. But, other things happen in your life and you kind of move on, and the guitar got neglected. So
basically what you're saying is I didn't come around till 2012. So, you couldn't have started with me then. So there was...
Exactly. That was the main problem.
Yeah, exactly. There's possibly no point. And I completely understand what you're saying.
So anyway, I guess fast forward to 2020, and it's kind of a classic lockdown thing, really. Of I had more time on my hands. The guitar was still kind of there in the corner of a room, not doing anything. So yeah, decided to kind of have another go at it. And at that time, then there's now loads of tuition available on YouTube. So I think I probably got some random lessons from there. But then eventually did more of a structured course, which I think was, that helped a lot like a structured beginner course, and that got me to a level at least. So yeah, that's really kind of how it started.
Can I ask? I'd like you to name names if you remember, but can I ask you? Do you remember like any specific channels that you watched on YouTube, or do you remember even like just if you don't want to name it, just the name of the actual course itself that you did after YouTube?
Well, I think I looked at a few. The one I actually did was the Andy guitar course. I think what's the other guy called? Justin Sandico, is it? I didn't do his course, but I looked at a lot of his stuff as well. And then all sorts of different channels as well that I took bits from. So Feedback Guitar Academy, that guy does like a lot of Hill Country Blues stuff, which I like.
That was a course as well, was it?
No, not a course. He does do paid courses, but yeah, the only paid course I did was the Andy Guitar one. So I did that sort of beginner and intermediate on there.
So I'm genuinely intrigued, slightly nosy, but so like acoustic guitar beginner, acoustic guitar intermediate?
He's got all sorts of courses on there once you sign up. So I started with the acoustic beginner. I did some of the intermediate stuff, probably some of the electric stuff.
How did you find it? Did I'm guessing they worked well?
Yeah, definitely. It was better than just kind of doing random YouTube lessons. I don't think it's as good as having an actual like face-to-face teacher, but it's kind of the next best thing, I would say. Yeah,
and I suppose then with being in COVID lockdown, although like you and I have had some lessons online, if you can't get here, mainly we are face-to-face together, aren't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm teaching more and more people online, but I suppose it all really started online after 2020. Yeah. At the start, I don't think people would have looked for an online teacher in the height of the pandemic. I think courses were the natural choice, weren't they?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, with online lessons with a one-to-one teacher, then you do get feedback as well, which is again another level from just a course where you're just absorbing information. But still,
yeah. One more question on these courses. Maybe I should have saved this for outside the podcast, but maybe people will be intrigued, and you can probably see that my ears are pricking up slightly. It's because I'm releasing courses and I'm trying to get more feedback as to what. So with the two courses that I've released at the moment, I have the opportunity is there for people to contact me to ask questions, which, I mean, when you're at a certain level, like Andy or Justin, I'm assuming that they can't sit at the end of a laptop replying to questions all day. But is there any way that with that Andy course, is there any way you can get any feedback, or is it completely one way?
I think he does do things like webinars or whatever. I think there are ways to do it, but I didn't really explore any of that, to be honest. So.
It's funny, isn't it? Because as a teacher, you sometimes think that people will enjoy like the group things more, and you have this idea in your mind that loads of people are going to join because they may as well. They paid for it, when actually it's just an added bonus, and some people probably it's not up their street, is it? They just want to do the actual lesson.
Yeah, I guess there's there's a bit of an unknown as well joining a group thing, right? So you don't know who else is going to be there. Are they all going to be like way better than you, and you're going to feel out of place, or yeah. So I guess there's maybe that kind of a nervousness with that kind of thing as well. But yeah.
Definitely, in which I would suggest that it's good to surround yourself with people, even if you do have that fear, it's good to surround yourself with people that are better than you. I don't know how else to word it, but it is, sure. Isn't it? And of course, it's daunting. Like, you'd rather not. You'd rather be the best in the room, but you and I know that that's not how you learn necessarily, is it?
Absolutely. And like some of the workshops that you do, I've been really good when I've joined those with other students. So yeah, it's definitely good to kind of have a go at that kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy them. And I did. You won't have heard the introduction to this, but I did. I think I did the introduction about 4 times, so I'm not sure if it made the cut. But I did say that you one of the reasons I believe that you have achieved so much in such a little space of time is because you do participate in things. And that's not me just trying to sell anything. That's me just saying that what I believe. You've participated in all the different types of workshops that I've offered to you, and they've differed. They're quite vast as well. I mean, you have theory and performance and bands and everything else. And again, I'm not going to talk about it all, but I do believe that one of the reasons is because you are so committed to absorbing information.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of an opportunity to, I think, learn in a different way, right? So it's definitely good to have that as well as just the lessons.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so this is right. So
that's the advert done now.
I already did that. Now there's about 5 minutes worth of adverts. Sorry, people, but I wanted again, like, we've been having lessons for about 1.5 years. I think maybe even longer. Almost 2 years.
Yeah, but 2 years in, I think 2 years around March.
Is it March? Yeah,
maybe, I'm not sure.
I remember when we started, and it definitely wasn't 2 years ago. It was early part of last year. Regardless, it's a very short amount of time. And in the grand scheme of things, as you know, you don't just get to do one 10-week course and then be on your way. It's a continuous journey. And one of the main reasons that I wanted you on the podcast is so you can share some of your knowledge, hopefully, some of your, I mean, it's not, I was going to say tips and tricks, but it is tips and tricks, but it's probably not as like attractive as that. There's no magic button that you press, but I'll get down to details. I want to know what a typical practice session looks like to you, and how you stay consistent with practicing.
Yeah, I mean the consistent bit, if I start with the second part of the question, is that's on one level it's kind of easy because I want to do it. I enjoy playing. I enjoy practicing on the whole, even some of the less fun bits. And I just aim to practice every day, so I don't have to think about do I need to practice today. It's just like, if I can, if I'm not away or ill or something, then I'll try and do some practice.
Yeah.
Typical session wise, I mean, the first thing kind of is to like get the guitar in tune. Yeah, I would say so.
No, you need to point these things out. Seriously, is all. It's all about that. I suggest I mention it more to beginners. Intermediates don't like hearing it so much, but I say, look, when you get in the room, tune your guitar up. Oh, I tuned it last night. Or I tuned it before. Even if I tuned it before I came, it's not acceptable because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes my guitar will still be in tune from the day before, but at least you need to check it, right? And I think I saw there was an interview with I think Molly Tuttle, and she kind of was saying that, you know, you don't want to be playing out of tune even if there's no one around that can hear, because like it's going to get into your head, right? You're going to start thinking that that's how it should sound, which is not right. So you don't want that.
Essentially, you don't want any distractions. It is exactly what you're saying, Mike. And it's like, you don't want to think, oh, am I playing that right? No, I thought I am playing that right, but it doesn't sound right. But more than any of that, it's just that you don't want any distractions. You want to just get it done, and then you can just get on with it.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't normally take too long. And then I start with some of the exercises now. That's something that one thing that I wasn't really doing before I started lessons was like the spider exercises, and I think that kind of stuff has definitely helped. Oh, I mean, it takes a long time for it to see results from that stuff, I think, but it definitely does help with, you know, finger strength and agility and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, give me more keywords. I'm loving this.
Yeah. So I'd say a typical session is probably around an hour, but I don't really watch. Like, I'm not watching the clock, so you know, sometimes it might be less, sometimes it might be more. But yeah, I guess I do around like 10 minutes on that kind of like sort of technical exercise type of thing, spider exercises, or like we did some sort of hammer on, pull off type exercises, that kind of thing. The rhythm one that we were just looking at in the last lesson.
That was fun, wasn't it? Good. Yeah. I'm glad you've been practicing that since our last lesson. Good. Then after that, I mean, this kind of next section I think has probably varied a bit over time as I've kind of progressed. But I would basically look at whatever song we're looking at, and I guess when we were doing more kind of like just strumming songs and simpler songs, I suppose, I'd maybe do like sort of half an hour or something on that, and then something else. As we're doing kind of more involved songs now, then sometimes that's just like the whole of the rest of my practice is looking at that. But there would be some variation in that, you know, like if we're doing some kind of like lead lines or single string playing and we're doing some rhythm bits, then I would try and kind of mix that up in practice. So like if we just had a lesson, then the first thing I would look at is what we did in the last lesson, so that I'm kind of like, before I forget what we just done, basically, so that when I'm going through it, I'm remembering what we did in the lesson. And it's like time sensitive, isn't it? Actually, I think the quicker you practiced after your lesson, the easier it's going to be to retain that information. That's what I used to do, and it worked for me straight away. Just go and practice what you've done. Even if you can't then practice until the next day, even if it's like longer than 24 hours, then you've got way more of a chance of retaining it. And
exactly. I usually try and do same day we've had the lesson, in the evening when I do the practice, I'll try and go over first what we did that day, so that, you know, even if I've sort of half forgotten it, when I then try and practice it, it comes back. Whereas if you leave it until like a few days later, then I probably won't remember half of it. So.
Yeah. I think, a couple of really interesting things that you've said there. One of them is that you don't look at the clock. And I think that's really important as well, because if you're looking at the clock and you're thinking, right, I must do half an hour, then you're really struggling to meet that time. And you're probably not realizing what you should be practicing, because it's easy to fill out that time, isn't it?
Yeah. Then the time just goes, and
and if you're enjoying it, like you say, then you're not going to be clock watching either, and you're not always going to be enjoying it. But you have to do the hard bits and learn the harder parts to then enjoy them when they are easier. So you know, it's always going to be tricky. But there was something else that you said as well, and I think it's to do with like the 10 minutes, the warm-up exercises, and then it's the song study and whatever we're doing.
Yeah, and then I guess I would, at the end, I would try and do something different. That might be like, might just be more sort of technical theory type stuff, like do some scales or triads or that kind of thing. Especially if I've not done those for a while, then I can we could look at that, and I haven't looked at that for ages. So, or just like, something that we've done before, like an older song or whatever. That there's a couple that I can remember that just because I'd spent quite a lot of time on them in the past, or maybe even just like pull out the tab for something that we did before.
And I suppose that the amount of time that you spend on each section of your practice hour is going to change as well. From when you started, it might have been, I don't know, there's two ways you look at it. One, it might have been a little bit less when you started because there's less stuff, and then it goes more, or you may have practiced more when you started because you're really determined to get over that first hurdle, and then it's kind of gone a little bit less. But I would say an hour is quite a long time, and for every day as well. So I wouldn't want people to be put off if they cannot find an hour every single day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just me because I'm kind of desperate, I guess. But I guess like 5 days a week, an hour at a time, I've heard as or maybe 45 minutes. I've heard like,
and it depends again, like the level and what you're doing. But I think an hour a day is absolutely brilliant. Please don't get me wrong. I
was going to say the other thing I think is kind of breaking it up, or like it's probably better to do 2 half-hour sessions than one hour one if you can make it work that way. Or definitely the weekend I try and get like 2 practices in, or sometimes if I've got like 10 minutes before I need to go catch the train or whatever, I'll go over something. But even within the session, like if I'm working on like a particular, I don't know, phrase or something, might do a bit of that and then go and do something else and then go back to it, and that I think helps.
Yeah, little and often.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really important, and again, it's tricky because it doesn't suit everyone's lifestyle, and I do understand that some people are like, right, got this set amount of time here, what can I do? And do you know what? Nothing's perfect, and you just have to just work around it.
Yeah.
What I do really, really enjoy about what you've just told me there is that it's every day. Now, I love that. It's so simple, isn't it? Because you don't have to think, it's a Thursday. Oh, right, okay, I've got to practice now because it's a Thursday. Every day just makes life so much easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Simplifying even just the days of the week that you're doing it is just.
Yeah, it's not always at the same time, but wherever I can fit it in, or when I can get
up, brush your teeth, practice your guitar. I get it, Mike.
100%. Normally in the evenings.
Normally in the evenings. Yeah, well, I do understand. I just, you without going into too much detail, no personal details at all, but just so everyone knows, you fit an hour in. You do have a full-time job and you do have a family. So I'm not saying everyone can do it, but you do have a busy life, and
I mean, it helps that my kids are a little bit older, so they when you've got young children, then they need more input. So
of course. Yeah, of course, absolutely, man. Right, okay. I was going to ask you another question to do with equipment as well. I don't think I've asked this one to anyone before, but in terms of so you have had lessons with me for almost 2 years, as we've established. Yeah. I can mention that at least 3 more times if I want. But we started on acoustic guitar. Oh, yeah. And then recently due to one of the band skills workshops, I think it prompted us to move on to electric guitar. And you already had an electric guitar. Yeah. What are your views on equipment? So what do you can let me know what you have, and what does it help to buy more things? Does it help to get a new amp or a new pedal or an amp which has got an app on? You can download preset sounds, and what does your setup look like? What are your views on this?
Yeah, it's I think that's there's a bit of a tension, I think, between like I like the idea, the concept of keeping things simple, but yeah, it's always tempting to get new shiny stuff, isn't it? So I think the way I sort of look at it is I feel kind of if I was going to buy a new guitar, I feel like I need to kind of earn it, and almost like, you know, I've got far enough in, and like when I bought my electric, that was because I'd kind of made some progress on the sort of original beginner acoustic I had, and I felt like, okay, I am going to stick with this, so it's worth actually, you know,
very sensible
as well. And so yeah, and I've got like a practice amp, like an orange practice amp with that's got like reverb and a tuner on it.
Does it have anything else on it?
No, just that. Yeah.
That's what I like. See, that's what I like. So you'll have one or two channels. Clean and
it's a clean and dirty channel, and that's kind of it. Basically, it's. I mean, when I chose the guitar, I guess I did sort of a fair bit of research trying to fit, because I didn't know too much at that time, but trying to figure out what to get. And yeah, anything that had like a whammy bar or anything like complex that I didn't need, I was basically dismissed straight away. The idea really was to have something simple, because, you know, still trying to learn, and
interesting.
I want to concentrate on actually being able to play before I worry about anything else. So
thank you. Yeah, and I think that's a really, really interesting point that I do agree with as well. I think the less distractions, the better to start with, and it's that really matches the whole starting on an acoustic guitar before an electric, and I've kind of
for sure. You don't really need any equipment. You just need the guitar, right? And
it's just because there's no distractions. My whole point of everything, I probably even mentioned it in this episode so far, is simplifying everything, less distractions. So I think we spoke about that with the tuning of the guitar. Just get it done. You don't have to think about it. Simplifying things. We spoke about that with your practicing once a day. Just make things really, really simple. But and this goes with this, hand in hand with this. This is about having an amp that gives you a clean sound, a dirty sound, and it has reverb, because it should actually be illegal to sell an amp without reverb. But that's all. But that's all you need, isn't it?
Definitely. You can do quite a lot with that, I think, particularly if you're kind of beginner or intermediate and still learning. You know, there's still so much to learn, right? Just with learning how to play without having to start worrying about set up pedals and try and dial in a particular sound or whatever.
And the thing is, of course, there are lots of modeling amps now, and you get the app and you can download the tone of the song that you're playing. And to be fair, they're very good. Like, you know, if you're learning Purple Rain by Prince, and you kind of type it in and someone's already created it, and you load it up, it's really good, but you're not learning how to get that tone, are you? Because you're pressing a button and it's all done for you. And I'd really like people to... I just find myself sounding older and older as I go, but I don't care. I want people to get the pedal when they want and explore the pedal. Each pedal is you're learning it itself. And I'm not talking about a wah pedal, which is technically different, but, you know, a delay pedal is so complex, for example. And you need to get that pedal and you need to learn how to use it. And I'm talking pedal. I'm not talking multi-effects. And I'm definitely not talking about just pressing a button. They're so good, though. So I understand why people use them. I really do, because they work. But I'm a teacher, so I can't say or recommend that you just get something where you press a button.
I mean, it's going to be good to learn about that kind of stuff if you want to, like, progress where you are, like, you know, getting different sounds and that kind of thing. But you need some basics first, right? So
I think
even just with the electric guitar and the amp, it's I found myself like going back to the original acoustic guitar a lot of the time, just because it's easy to just pick it up.
Oh, really?
So I ended up buying a nice acoustic just because actually I found I was playing that as much, if not, more than the better kind of electric I'd got. So yeah,
I bet that's for that reason, isn't it? It's the distraction reason.
Yeah, you can just pick it, or you don't have to plug it in. I think at the time as well, I was having to shift room quite often around the rest of the family. So like the acoustic, you can just pick up and take to another room and carry on.
Logistical or the environmental factors as well, really. A lot of people, a lot of students who come here and right over the years, in fact, and they strum without a plectrum. And I say that's all good and well, but you should learn the actual technique of using a plectrum as a tool, as and when. I'm not going to suggest that you only have to use a plectrum if you strum, but you should at least know how to. Sort of like driving an automatic and a manual. Lots of people drive automatics, but it's helpful if you learn on a manual.
For sure.
But it's because they live in flats, for example, thin walls. Yeah. This is the stuff that people tell me, and I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I did use GarageBand a little bit, and I got one of the Focusrite interfaces, mainly just to be able to plug into that and have headphones and be able to practice on the electric, late at night or whatever. And it's quieter than strumming an acoustic. So.
Yeah, and there's now the headphone amps that you can get where you just plug it into your guitar and you just plug headphones into that. They sound so awesome as well. Like value for money is just ridiculous with them. I have the Vox one, and it's brilliant. Yeah. So okay, all right, I understand. Focus on what you're playing.
The other thing I was going to say, before I started lessons with you, I was kind of like thinking, should I get another guitar? It was a bit, I kind of fancied the idea of having a resonator, which, a shinier metal thing.
Yeah.
I quite like slide, and I'm not really a slide player, but I do have a slide, and I tried it out a little bit, so that was kind of. But yeah, I think I saw sense and thought, well, actually, I'm much better off investing in some lessons than when buying another guitar that, when I haven't really got the most out of what I already have. So.
Oh, how boring for you.
I know.
Boring, Mike.
Probably a resonator's not going to be ideal for like quiet practice in the home either, I think. there's not really any way to practice one of those quietly, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Maybe sometime down the line I will still get one of those, but not yet.
Yeah, we have to wait till I tell you. Guitar shops hate me.
Okay.
Guitar shops don't like me. It keeps gatekeeping people from buying instruments when they want to have fun. But no, yeah, it's interesting though, isn't it? Because like that is completely different. It's not like you're saying you've got a Strat and now you're going to buy a telly. That is kind of a bit of this distraction thing.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see the point of buying something too similar to what I already have. Yeah. Okay. I think guitars is probably more tempting than pedals and things at the moment. But then, as we're doing more electric, that might change.
Do you know? Have you got it there? Can you remember the exact model of your electric? Because people probably be surprised to hear that you did the research on what you should get and you didn't get a Strat.
No.
Let's build this up.
Yeah.
You didn't get a Telecaster. You didn't get a PRS. You didn't get a Les Paul shape, whatever brand. You didn't get an SG. What did you get?
What did I get? It's an Ibanez, so it's an RG type Ibanez. I mean, I guess the reason I went for that was kind of a lot of people saying, well, it's fairly easy to play, like thin neck, that kind of thing. So that was kind of the idea. I don't have like massive hands, even like we're doing Purple Haze at the moment in the lessons. Just the whole thumb over, even with a thin neck, trying to get my thumb over the top is a struggle. So that is why. And basically it was not too expensive, but still came with like good pickups, like DiMarzio type pickups, and no other frills, I guess.
So you really did do your research. And you do have, it is a versatile guitar. It's funny because when you see it to begin with, you think it maybe isn't that versatile, but that's just the Ibanez kind of like Jackson-y type shape that you see, and you're like, oh, it must be a heavy metal guitar. And it does have a humbucker in it, but doesn't it? Yeah, but
it's two humbuckers, but it's got like a 5-way switch, so you've got like
that's it.
The neck or the bridge, or you can have or both, or you can have like the coil split basically on either one of the humbuckers.
So it is versatile as you can get.
Kind of a single coil sound, I suppose, but
no, definitely. And like you said, you get the comfort, and people don't see that. Like, it's really tempting, and I understand, but when people say, I got this new guitar and I found it online and it just looks amazing, and it's I don't know, it's whatever.
I even like some podcasters are like, oh, it's important that the guitar looks good, so you want to play it, which I kind of get, but I
actually heard.
I don't really care what it looks like if it sounds good.
I actually heard a podcaster the other day, Philip McKnight, who I listened to. He actually said the complete opposite. He said, "I don't care what guitars look like because I only play them inside the house." He said, "I care what they sound like." I don't even know if he said what they feel like, but it's
yeah.
Everyone sees things different ways, don't they? But
sure,
you should. Let's just be ultimately clear here, something that we definitely agree on. You should try out a guitar before you buy it.
I mean, I didn't do that because I just bought it online, but yeah, I think it's. I think
what's going on here? We've got to restart the whole podcast so that we're in sync.
You can edit that bit out if you want.
No, I won't. No, I will not.
But yeah, I did just buy it online. For whatever reason. I mean, the downside of that was, I guess, it came and it seemed fine and it played fine to start with. And then I tried to play something up the neck and realised, that doesn't sound quite right. So I had to sort out the intonation. Well, I had to look up, some videos on YouTube to what was going on here and how to sort that out. So, but having said that, it was kind of a good learning thing to do that. And figure that out myself. And I did go a bit further and start messing about with the truss rod and trying to adjust the action. But
a lot of people wouldn't do that and they wouldn't understand. And it's a bit of a shame that you can buy a guitar that is of a certain price and it's not going to be set up. It's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? It's like buying a car and I use car analogies, but I don't know anything about cars, Mike. But the setting. Oh my god, this is going to sound ridiculous, but
I don't know much about cars either, so you're all right.
Okay, well, let's just try our best. Someone will know, but it's like the wheel alignment can go out or something, and it has to be adjusted. It has to be not configured, calibrated. Here you go. We're getting somewhere. Calibrated, so your car doesn't always veer to the left. Right? If you bought a brand new car, would you expect that? You were like, no. So you actually got to fix it yourself. Some shops, I think it's Sweetwater in the States, they do like some 59-point check. Although I was talking to someone about it the other day from the States, and I think he sort of said, I mean, they claim that they do. I don't know how in depth it actually is, but regardless, it's better than nothing, isn't it? Which is pretty much what we get.
Yeah, I mean, when I got my better acoustic, I did go to a shop and try some guitars. There wasn't. It's actually one that was kind of moving. It was a guy that was moving more towards lessons and doing less selling, but. It was helpful to try some out. Ultimately, the one I wanted, I did end up ordering online, but it was from somewhere that he'd recommended, and it was, all came perfectly set up. And
that's really good. Of course, we could say this because there's a few guitar shops around here, but of course it depends where you live. So everything's so built up around here, but of course some people.
Yeah, there's not really an excuse for not.
No, there's not, is there? And there's not an excuse, and it's fun as well. Okay, let's come back to what has made you so great so far. Sorry, Andertons.
I don't know if I'm great yet.
Andertons have just emailed me. It's just popped up that Andertons have emailed me, so they must be listening, of course.
For sure.
And because of course I'm so important, they're telling me to stop telling people to. Anyway, right. What keeps you motivated in general?
I mean, just wanting to get as good as I can, I think, and be able to, play.
When things feel really hard.
Yeah. I mean, now I've got kind of past the beginner stage. One thing is there's just, you can look back on, well, I've struggled with, everything from like the first being able to like hold down chords for any sort of period of time without your, your fingers bleeding.
Good old days.
To like, being able to play bar chords or any, there's so many like things that are just like a physical challenge where I know what I want to play, but I can't actually physically do it, like stretch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I guess you get to the point where you realise, okay, I have had this kind of thing before, so even though it feels like I'm never going to be able to do this, because I definitely had that feeling like, oh, I'm never going to be able to, play that chord shape because like I can't make the stretch or whatever. You know that you have kind of got past that kind of thing in the past and been able to actually do it, albeit takes time.
Yeah, I suppose I use that when I'm teaching beginners as well. So they try a bar chord after a while, and I say open chords felt this difficult for a while for you, and now look. And it's really important to think about things like that. And certain things, you mentioned like your brain knows what it wants to do, but you can't physically do it.
Yeah.
It's
Which
frustrating.
Kind of frustrating.
But it's better that way around, that your brain does know what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to be playing this, or how quickly you're moving between these notes or chords. It's sometimes it's just a physical thing, isn't it? So whether it's like the angle of your wrist for a bar chord, for example, things like that, that's a little and often practice. That takes a while to come around.
There's definitely a lot of, or even, I'm thinking some of the, being able to make chords ring out where you've got maybe, like we did Blackbird by Paul McCartney early on, I think, one of the first things we did. And it took a long time to be able to get that so that it was kind of ringing out cleanly, even though it's not as hard to hold down as something like a bar chord. It's just like you say, little adjustments, and that doesn't sound quite right, or just trying a like slightly different angle, or
not muting the strings. It's that angle, like you say. So sometimes we are physically limited by what we can do, although mentally we know what we're supposed to do, and those things take time. And so I suppose okay, so again, like talking about the hard periods when you're practicing, is that you've just spoke to me about Blackbird. Have you got any other examples? Don't worry if not, but just in case you've got any other examples, that would be helpful.
I mean, anything with a bar chord, I guess. Probably, we did looked at the Wes Montgomery piece. Was it While We're Young, I think, which has got a lot of tricky jazz chords or whatever with stretches and different shapes, and
which was the point of us learning that song.
Which was the point of it, exactly, yes. But, which is why, even though that was definitely difficult and frustrating, and I wouldn't say I can play that thing fluently yet, but it was also, I could see that I was getting a lot out of it. So
you learn a lot from it. There's when I'm teaching you guys songs, if it's not a song that's on your ultimate song list, or a song that you absolutely want to learn, then I have to explain the reason why, if it's not obvious. And that was the reason for that song. And moving your fingers in different very odd chord shapes. I'm not expecting you to remember like exactly what each chord is called, but even it's transferable to other songs, isn't it? So you go to another song and you've got like a 3-finger chord, and suddenly that feels really, really simple. So everything is transferable between every other song that you're doing as well. We do another song and it's just like a G chord and a C add 9 or something, and you think, whoa.
I mean, after doing that, right, then some chords that might have felt difficult before suddenly like, really.
That's it.
As you know as well, I do like to kind of understand the theory a little bit. So I like what I'm playing. So it's good to combine that with it. I think that it comes back to like knowing what you want to play. But then the frustrating one is the physical challenge, really. But it's just time, really.
Yeah, actually, just going slightly off here. Something I was going to ask you earlier, Mike, when you were talking about your practice schedule, and you, I think you said the last part is to do with sort of ear training or intervals or anything like that.
Well, it's more like, I mean, the actual practice is more would be like more, I don't know. Scales or triads, or sometimes I do. Intervals. But I mean, that's kind of when I was before I was having lessons, like just learning like minor pentatonic. I used to have tab a lot of time just on a phone, so I could move to a different room, and it gets a bit annoying looking at that. So knowing the intervals, it kind of like means you can work out if I got like the position 1 shape, I can kind of figure out the position 5 position 2 next to it, because I can figure it out from the intervals. So
basically, don't get a bigger screen, don't print stuff out, don't get a stronger prescription on your glasses, because you're only making it harder to. You've been forced into. It's
a way of doing it, but I think it's definitely good to like understand enough theory, I think, to know what you're playing. Intervals definitely is key. I mean, you mentioned ear training as well, which I think goes hand in hand with it. The intervals as well. I think when you put those 3 things together, like the physical practice, the understanding enough theory, and also the ear training of being able to hear, okay, that's a fifth, that's 4th, and that's so. I mean, that's kind of there's practice away from the guitar that I do as well. So like if I'm on a train or even just like walking to work or something, then I'll do some like ear training, listen to like some ear training audio book or something like that.
Okay, you've naturally got to what my question was going to be about this, and I had got it a little wrong, because you're right. You were saying at the end of that practice session it was more triads and stuff, but what I was going to get to, which you've naturally got to there, is I know that you do a lot of listening exercises on your own. So when you're in the car or when you're on the train, can you give us any specific apps or websites that you use? And again, I know I've put you on the spot, but if it'll be really helpful for people, I'm sure.
I mean, the thing I used is an audio. The main thing I used is an audio book. I think it's called something like Ear Training for Guitar, or
is that the one that
the one I shared with you, exactly that one.
The red background.
I think it's available on streaming services. I think you need to be paid.
All streaming services,
but I think it's like a paid for thing. So I think if you're just on like the advertising tier or whatever, you probably don't get it. I don't know, but that's got sort of single note intervals and different chord sounds. So is it a major 7? Is it a diminished?
I love it.
That kind of stuff.
I love it.
It's also got recognising scales as well, but I haven't got to that bit. It takes time with that, I think. I've kind of got to the point where 9 times out of 10, if I hear something's a perfect fifth, I can kind of recognise it pretty quickly. But it takes time to, and
the scales one it's like a thriller. It's like listening to like a thriller podcast, because if you're listening to 2 scales where the note difference is towards the end, you're like, right, I don't know an example, say natural minor or harmonic minor,
right?
Like, yeah, and you're getting to the end, and you're like, which one is it going to be? Like, I can't wait to find. It's like a thriller. It gets you going.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm sad. I don't get out much, so yeah. But that's brilliant. So that's the.
I was going to say the other thing as well, which so another audiobook thing. 'Cause I guess I'll listen to audiobooks a bit. There've been some kind of scientific studies, and I think she's a violinist or a violin teacher or something, but also like studies neuroscience. And there's kind of some evidence that or you can kind of mentally practice without physically practicing. So you're kind of like thinking through or imagining you're playing whatever, I don't know, a lick or whatever it is. And I listened to that and realized, well, I was kind of doing some of that. Like if I was, I don't know, walking to work or whatever, I would be thinking through like the piece we were doing at the time. Or I don't know, I think that probably is useful. Or I might be just trying to figure out, well, we've learnt like the kind of actual physical pattern. I'm trying to think, okay, what notes is that?
Yeah, I used to do that on holiday when I was a kid. When I first started learning, and we used to go on holiday, and it used to be so annoying because I couldn't take my guitar with me. Right. I used to do that. I used to do the same thing, just go through songs round and round. Or even just riffs. I didn't like learn scales or anything back then.
Yeah.
So it was just like songs parts and what goes there, and it's so funny. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Also,
like sometimes I can hear a song in my head that I've known for a long time that we've done, and then I'm trying to put the actual physical like playing to it, and then it kind of changes your view on exactly what's going on in that song, I guess.
Yeah. I actually also think
I hadn't realised I was kind of mentally training until I kind of saw that book and I do that kind of thing a little bit.
It's good to hear, isn't it? It's good to know. It's good to know that.
I think it all helps.
It all helps. Yeah, it's not like there's one way or another way of doing it, but it definitely all helps. And I'm going to be honest with you. You can probably only play violin if you are that clever, I think. So that works. I was going to be really rude about drummers then, but no, this is not the time or the place. Actually, this is called Fret Friends. This is about guitars. So yeah, sorry, drummers.
You don't have to be friendly to drummers. Isn't that a drum kit you have in the background there?
What? No. Right. Okay. All going really well. And in terms of the information and advice you've given, it's been spot on. Very, very pleased, and I'm sure everyone else will be who's listening. So let's move on. Inspiration. Any inspiration for people listening? So beginners, intermediates, advanced players even who are listening, but I suppose more for beginners and intermediates. Do you have any advice for students, so people learning who want to improve faster?
Well, it takes time, so you're not gonna. It's not gonna happen fast overnight.
Well, it takes time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you can't just. No.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's two things really. That combining like the physical practice with the like the enough theory and also the ear training, I think definitely helps. But I was. Not that it's an advert for AP Guitar or anything, but I think getting a good teacher that you trust is what worked for me. You know, I think if you've got a good teacher that you get on with, that you got a good connection with, and you trust them, and but we've done some songs that are not songs that I would particularly have chosen. Nothing that I hated, but definitely stuff that I didn't love. But I kind of trusted that there's a reason behind it, and it's going to improve me. And I think so. I think that would be what I'd say. Find a teacher that you trust. If you're not happy that you trust the advice of the teacher you've got, then maybe you need a different one. Or
fair enough.
Or maybe you're a genius and you can do it yourself, but that's definitely not me. So having a good teacher, I think, definitely has speeded up my progress. Definitely.
It's first of all, it's a two-way thing. So I can give the advice, but I can't hold your hand. So you are independent in your learning. So that's why you're doing well. Number two, I really like that you said it's a combination of things, because as many people know, as my students know, over the last few years, I have changed the way that I've been teaching ever so slightly, that it's now a combination of things. So ear training and why. It's mainly answering why, even if that question hasn't been asked, as you're learning songs, why chords work together, etc., etc. And I never used to do that because... Well, I did a little bit, but nowhere near as much. Or I didn't really understand the importance of it. So I'm really pleased that you said it's a combination of everything.
Yeah, I think if you know why you're, yes, I do think it's good to trust. You need to trust, whoever's teaching you. But if you know why you're practicing a certain thing, you're going to be more motivated to do it, right? If you understand or can see what you're getting out of it. So
yeah, definitely. If you know, if you are understanding why, then you're going to, aren't you? Hence why in a driving exam, oh God, I've gone back to cars again. What is wrong with me? Seriously,
Yeah.
I don't even drive. No, I'm kidding. I do. But I was going to say about the driving test. I remember here in the UK, the driving test. Yeah, okay, I did it 20 years ago, but you had to look in the mirrors a ridiculous amount of times, almost more than you were looking at the road. And I used to find that really hard because I didn't understand why. Of course, so it's like that, right? And that's the way it is, right? Lastly, I ask everyone this, and it is your turn. And I wonder if this is down to you. This is your opinion, subjective, as we will say, but this is the last time I'm going to ask this in this season because you are the season finale. Mike, if you could play on stage with any band or artist, who would it be?
Yes.
I
don't know how you
let's build this up. Let's build this up.
I don't know how you choose one.
Yeah, Alex didn't choose one, did he? It's rude.
I could list like a whole load of people. I mean, one of the things I remember kind of like from young that I listened to a lot was like Jimi Hendrix live at Monterey. I had like a video of that. I think it must have been on TV, and I recorded it, so I watched that a lot.
Yeah.
And just the start of that, he like absolutely launches into Howlin' Wolf's Killing Floor. It's just awesome. And so I kind of always been big fan, but I don't know if I'd want to try and play on stage with him. I don't think I'd keep up. So I don't think he needs another guitarist necessarily. I was going to say it's kind of hard to choose because I like a wide variety of stuff, like so indie. I like I think Jay Mascis, who's the Dinosaur Junior.
Yes.
Main guy, he's an amazing player. He's more sort of alternative rock, but he does a lot of soloing, and I think it's all very melodic and all kind of serving the song, even though some of them are quite long.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. There's two there though.
But I also like blues. So I think John Lee Hooker I listened to quite a lot from being fairly young. There was kind of early 90s, I think he had an album out, The Healer, and and then I think the hill country blues that I like is kind of similar to him, and there's very kind of groove based. So
some of these are down to nostalgia, then, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So like,
that's lovely.
Yeah, there's that kind of stuff. More recently, I've been listening to John Fahey. If you know John Fahey.
Okay. Yeah.
He's not someone I'd really come across before, but he's, I guess he's sort of 60s and onwards, but he's basically just playing an acoustic guitar, a lot of sort of blues, folk.
I know the name, but I don't know who you're talking. I don't know who that is, so I'll have to check him out.
He's got whole albums of it's just him and an acoustic guitar. He doesn't sing. There's no one else there. And it's not boring, so it still holds your attention. So I like him a lot, having listened to him recently. Again, I don't know if I'd want to play on stage with him. So also listen a bit to have you heard of any sort of desert blues type, say like North African style of blues?
No, I don't think so.
So there's a band called Songhai Blues that I listened to a bit a while ago, and there's a guitarist called I'm going to completely mangle his name, but Mdu Mokhtar.
Okay,
you should definitely check him out. He's amazing.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. You're giving me some really good stuff here, and anyone who's listening. So. Yeah.
Would I play on stage with any of these guys? I don't know
if you were invisible and it was just...
I think I'm going to kind of set all that aside, and I'm just going to play with Motorhead.
What? That is so funny. What? Just for the entertainment purposes?
I think it's going to be fun, right? So
yeah. I love that. Good man. Right. As you were going through that list, I was thinking he's going to give me someone at some point. I need one. He knows the question.
Exactly. I thought.
Who?
I was kind of thinking, well, you're going to demand someone, so yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Why not, man? Okay. I was gonna then put you in a really awkward spot, and I was gonna say, who would you not stand on stage with, because you have been awkward and not given me one, but you have given me one, so.
Yeah. So you don't have to. We can skip over that one.
Yeah, I was going to be really awkward, but yeah, no, wicked, man. I think we've come to the end of it. I'm so pleased to have you on. It's been really, really fun. And it's just nice. I think this with all of the interview type podcasts that I do, it's actually just nice to just have a chat with you, because of course when we're in lessons, you're paying for the time, and we get down to it. And yeah, it's been really, really nice to have a chat with you on this gruesome rainy Friday. So thank you for your time as well. I really appreciate it. And I know that there's lots of information that you've given here that will be very incredibly helpful to people. So thank you, Mike.
Thank you. It's been fun, like you say. So
thank you.
Thanks for inviting me.